Let's go over 10 really fun facts about the most famous dwarf planet. And like I said, as a bonus, we'll discuss why it's not a planet anymore and if it should be. So number 1, Pluto was once the infamous Planet X. Pluto was discovered in 1930 by Clyde Tombaugh at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona, and it wasn't a coincidence. Scientists had been long hunting for another planet and to explain the oddities in Uranus and Neptune's orbit. Just as we're still searching for a new Planet X or Planet 9 today, a planet that lies out even further than Neptune or Pluto, scientists in the early 1900s were doing the same. In fact, the idea of a Planet X has always been a moving target. I did another video on what X and dark mean, so make sure to check that out. Basically, they're just placeholders for things that we think should exist. This is dark and X, right? But we still haven't been able to find them. So it's dark energy, Planet X, right? All of these things, it's like the math and our theories say that they should exist, but we haven't been able to find them, right? So that's all dark and X really mean when you break it down to its most simple terms. So astronomers are still searching for another object further out than Pluto, and based on the tug and the wobble of the sun, we think something else is still out there, substantial-ish. Number 2, Pluto's name. The name Pluto in 1930 was suggested by Venetia Burney, an 11-year-old schoolgirl in Oxford, England. So an 11-year-old girl thought that the Roman god of the underworld was a fitting name for this planet. Kinda dark for an 11-year-old, if you ask me. But her grandfather passed the name along to an astronomy professor at Oxford, and the rest of it was history. Disney must have thought the name sounded catchy because later on in the same year, 1930, Disney's Pluto the cartoon dog first appeared. You know, what a year for an 11-year-old, seriously. Number 3, Pluto's size. Pluto is actually really tiny. Now, this isn't the reason it's not a planet anymore, but it's only about 2/3 the diameter of our moon, which is still large enough to make it the largest known dwarf planet. But to put that in perspective, it's only about half the width of the US. Like I said, not the reason it was reclassified though. Number 4, Charon. Pluto has 5 moons, but its largest moon, Charon, it's about half the diameter of Pluto. This makes it the largest moon relative to its host in the solar system, and some scientists even refer to it as a binary or a double dwarf system because the mass is about 12% of Pluto's, so it's enough for it to tug on Pluto, and the barycenter, the area that they both orbit, is actually outside of Pluto. So they're both orbiting an invisible area, the barycenter, in between the two of them, closer to Pluto though, making them a truly unique couple. And of course that segues us into number 5 quite well because you all know that Pluto is a romantic planet. It has a giant heart glacier. So besides its romantic entanglement with its partner, as I said, it has a huge glacier the shape of a heart. It's made of 2 different parts. The left lobe is the Sputnik Planitia. This is a vast, young, active nitrogen glacier. And the right side is mostly water ice, coated with methane frost. So, while it looks romantic, Pluto has a literal heart of ice, just like your ex. Pluto-Charon system's other moons. So the Pluto-Charon binary pair have 4 other moons: Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. And if you work in IT, I'm sure you will know Kerberos. They're all smaller, with the largest of the 4, Hydra, only being about 65 kilometers across. Unlike our moon, which is tidally locked and has a generally predictable orbit, these 4 moons have erratic orbits and rotational periods. And more research still needs to be done, but it's likely due to the moons orbiting in a binary pair instead of a single object, the 3-body problem. So it's believed that these moons may be the remnants of the initial Pluto-Charon collision, which brought them into binary orbit together. Number 7, icy mountains. So we've talked on this channel about the massive mountains and canyons of Mars, but Pluto is crazy rugged. And its icy mountains rise 10 to 13,000 feet high, 3 to 4 kilometers. So while they're not quite as tall as the Tharsis megavolcanoes on Mars, they're actually much steeper and more jagged. Mars's shield volcanoes, like Olympic Mons, are built from layer after layer of lava flow building up, but Pluto's mountains look more like the Alps or the Rockies than volcanic domes. They're sharp, jagged, steep. they're not as tall, but I think they're more impressive, and especially given the size in comparison to the planet of Pluto itself, which is so much smaller than Mars. Number 8, possible cryovolcanoes. New Horizons spotted features like the Wright Mons and Picard Mons, which look a lot like giant shield volcanoes. It's hypothesized that instead of lava, they may have erupted slurries of water, ammonia, or methane. And if it's true, then this means that Pluto could still have some internal heat and maybe even a subsurface ocean, interestingly enough. Number 9, Pluto has weather and probably a blue sky. Its thin atmosphere of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide snows down onto the surface. Frozen ices at the Sputnik Planitia and sublimate into gas and sunlight, and then they refreeze elsewhere, driving a bizarre but definitely active weather cycle. Number 10, we've only been to Pluto once. That's why you always see that same image of Pluto with the heart on it. In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew by Pluto. That single flyby gave us everything that we know about Pluto's geography, moons, and atmosphere. So before 2015, Pluto was just a blurry smudge. New Horizons revealed a surprisingly complex and beautiful world, but there's still so much more to learn. Alright, so that concludes Pluto, and by the way, the reason Pluto isn't classified as a planet anymore is because it can't clear its orbital path of all the debris. It's in an asteroid belt.